Let's look at what countries and the international community are doing about the NPS problem. It is important to look at some characteristics of the NPS issue. The sheer numbers involved, the difficulties in identifying or detecting the substances we're worried about, because you do get new derivatives of synthetic cannabinoids coming onto the market constantly. These characteristics pose a massive challenge to legislative responses. Now, in terms of member states, countries have put in a lot of legislation tailored to address these particular characteristics of NPS, the sheer numbers, the unknown toxicities. An example is the generic form of legislation countries have put in. What this does is it tries to control what we have on the market at present and tries to predict what is going to come in the future and nip that in the bud before it comes up. Out of 59 countries which the UNODC holds data on, about 19 of them have put in legislation of the generic nature to make sure they are on top of the game. Now, when it comes to the international conventions or UNODC's work, the underlying part of our work is to protect the health and welfare of mankind. In this context, we've been working closely with the Commission on Narcotic Drugs, our governing body, and the World Health Organization to try to identify the most harmful of these substances and make sure they are taken off the market. 3 weeks ago, in March 2017, we controlled 2 very harmful NPS of the synthetic cannabinoids group. UNODC also runs the only global early warning system on new psychoactive substances, and this monitors the synthetic cannabinoids as well. The idea is to be able to detect what's on the market, analyze that information, and share it with member states so as to improve their preparedness to deal with the issue when it comes across their borders. The knowledge products we derive from our program, the Global SMART program, also helps in this instance to help countries understand the problem and be prepared to face it. From the health side, our experts in the prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation section are looking at ways of supporting clinicians so they will be able to save lives of people who show up in emergency treatment centers before we hear of fatalities due to synthetic cannabinoids. Finally, forensic support. There will be no successful law enforcement intervention or health intervention for that matter if you cannot identify or detect these synthetic cannabinoids. UNODC is working closely with over 250 laboratories in 75 member states to make sure that they are in a position to identify and detect these substances and take appropriate action when required.